Hi, I'm Trinny. I'm here with Good Housekeeping, and I'm going to share my lessons in beauty. One of the quickest ways to de-age a face is to give yourself a thicker brow. And lots of people that I do makeovers on have either let their brows go, so they've stopped framing their face. Their hair might have gone blonder and they've just let go of actually adding color in. And it's really important to add color back in. I think it's fine to have your brows about 3 or 4 shades darker than your hair, because you're going to frame your face and frame your eyes and give structure and focus to your face. Always consider as well not doing exaggerated arches, because that can look a little dated, but actually trying to do a little bit more straight across and doing a little bit more just above the brow bone here. And then also you can take a tiny slither of a highlighter like Candlelight, and you can put the thinnest slither just here underneath your brow, and it will sort of lift it up more. Well, I would say before you even apply makeup, consider this. Using your fingers, pushing them up in between your brow bone, and then every morning doing 30 little exercises for that muscle above your eye to get a little tighter. And if it gets a little tighter, what it's going to do is make you feel your eyes are not so hooded. Another thing to consider is you might have plucked your eyebrows in the same way for years, and you're following round your eye. And as your eye becomes hooded, your eyebrow is following it down. And it's about cutting off those end hairs, putting more product up here and making your eyebrows straighter. Because if our eyebrow goes down like that, we look hooded. But if our eyebrow is straighter, we look lifted. Also, where you put your eye shade is important, and you need to bring it out more if your eyes are hooded. Go towards the outside, feel your brow bone, and think of putting a deeper shade into the socket, but then bringing it gently over the brow bone. And if you go too far down here, get a little bit of concealer like our BFFI and pull it up to your eye, and it will lift that brow. Dark circles benefit, depending on your skin type and tone, from having a corrector underneath if you have a really bad dark circle. And depending on your skin tone, you can choose a different color corrector. I do think it's a good idea, because then you need to use less under eye cream as a result. I like a cream-based concealer, which comes out of a tube. We have BFFI, and it gives a little light reflection as well, which can also help to bounce back away from the dark circle. When you have lined and thin lips, you want to try and soften the outline. And that's why I invented Miracle Blur. I tap it in and press it into those lip lines, and then I put on any lip product on top, and my lips look fuller and plumper looking. Age spots are caused by sun damage, so it's really important to wear an SPF 50 if you have age spots. But to cover them up, the best thing to do is to start with the area that you're most concerned with in just a kind of very cream-based foundation that's maybe a concealer foundation combination. Tap it on with your finger and blend it out. Sagging neck is an age thing. It's a menopausal thing, and it usually happens as you have a depletion in hormones. It can happen anytime between sort of 45 and 55, and you notice these lines. So I think hydration is really crucial, and the skin on our neck is very different from the skin on our face. On our face, we can absorb bigger molecule size. On our neck, it's harder to. So I think it's important to still carry the skincare routine, though, that you do on your face down to your neck, and then add that extra layer of hydration. When you have uneven lashes, you can consider products like Revitalizing, which will stimulate hair growth. Sometimes they can cause a little dye to happen around your eye area, and you can actually, as a result, look like you've got a dark circle. But they still do work. Another idea you can do is to do little singular lashes, which you put on yourself. Shiomura do really good single lashes. Otherwise, you could get somebody to do eyelash extensions. And if you do eyelash extensions, the way they look most natural is you do a sort of C curl or a J curl, you can ask the technician, and only go about 1 millimeter longer than your actual lash, because it sounds like you're looking for thickness as opposed to length. If your eyelids have gone crepey, it could be a few things. It could be that you've spent 20 years doing a skincare routine which didn't actually result in your fingers going anywhere near your upper eyelid. I always put whatever I put on my face on my eyelid because we need to hydrate that area of our eyes as much as we do other parts of our face. So I will use a PHA up here, I will use a retinoid up here, depending on the sensitivity of your eyes. And if you have red sensitivity, you need to be careful. But you need to still exfoliate, hydrate, protect it from the sun, all the same things that you do here. So hydration is best, otherwise surgery. I think there's a few things for hair loss. You've got to check your hormone levels and what hormones you're taking. I think biotin as a supplement is really helpful to stimulate hair. I think massaging your scalp is also important. I think thickening shampoos can really help, and there's some great products out there like Sam McKnight. But it's also how you look after it. How much heat are you putting on it? How much are you letting it have a few rest days? Are you in a routine that has hair straighteners every day, which when your hair gets really dry over a certain number of years is just going to break hair much, much quicker than it might have done 10 years before. So just think about how you're nurturing your hair. There's lovely products like Elasticizer from Philip Kingsley, which you can put on overnight or before you wash your hair just to give back some life to hair. But hair loses its color as we age, and as a result, we can feel it becomes more brittle. So it's about getting hydration back in the hair too. So when you have crepey hands or hands that don't match your face, the first thing you've got to say is, are you putting an SPF 50 on them every day? And whether it's sunny or cloudy, you should be, because we all have a propensity over the age, when we get into menopause, that more age spots will come up. So the more you've got a 50 on, it stops the aggravation of light going onto your hands and accelerating the viewing of those melanocytes on your hands, which look like age spots. Because if your hands look even, they feel more useful. The other thing is always hydrate them really well. There are products you can get in salon, which are slight fillers for your hands, and they just soften in case you've got what becomes a sort of skeletal hand, which I know I'm going to head for. You could get those little bits filled in, which I might be tempted to do in a few years.